Hello and welcome to another video by myself, Chris from Sorare on a Budget. Today I'm going to be taking a look at some threshold players. This time I'm going to be starting off with the forwards. I started this format back in July and my baby was born and I kind of ran out of time to do any more of them. So I'm going to get back to doing these on a fairly regular basis, and I'm going to start off today by looking at the forwards as I mentioned, and there'll be a separate video which is going to be looking at midfielders and another one for defenders. That way I can get through more players and give you more choices. It's mainly European cards that I've looked at in this one. The reason being, it just gives more utility. Now, there are some cheap options in Asia and, like the MLS and things like that at the moment, which could definitely get you through the thresholds. However, I find that a lot of the people who are working on a very limited budget, and rather than giving you a set of players that are going to depreciate in value a little bit, I wanted to give you cards that you can get full utility out of for the full season. That's why I've gone with the European ones. I have had a suggestion for a MLS/Asia video separately, which I'm probably going to look at doing. That'll probably be next week that I'll look at doing that one. It's a selection of players from a variety of leagues. The prices on these are correct as of 4 p.m. Today, which is this Wednesday, the 7th of September. A rare day off, so I was able to get this done during the day. So if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button below. That way you'll get notified when all the new videos go up. If you haven't already, I have a podcast with Russ from Scotland Sorare that drops every Thursday morning. It's called A View from the Dugout. If you search for that in your favourite podcast app, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, that sort of thing, you'll find it there. And also, if you're new to Sorare and this video gives you the emphasis to get started because you thought maybe it was too expensive and there's some options here that you like the look of, SorareOnABudget.com, that'll take you straight to the Sorare website and you'll get your starter cards, all the common ones. And then if you buy 5 cards from the new card auctions, you'll get a free limited card from Sorare. So without further ado, I am going to crack on. The star card that I've got on the screen at the moment is Nicky Clark. Rare that I would have a United player up there, but actually he's now moved to St Johnstone, so he'll feature later on in the video, but that's a card that I own myself. So there are a couple of cards in here that I do own myself and ones that I've certainly had a look at in the past. So I'm going to start off with Henk Veerman. Recently signed for Volendam, as you can see with his glorious picture here, and a very retro kind of Holland 88 styled kit. Quite like it, despite it being orange. So his last 5 scores for Volendam have been 46. His previous scores to that last 15, 35. The season's not long started there. I think he's only actually played 5 games for them. So that score there is from being at Volendam. Now, he has started 4 of the 5 games. The first game of the season, he started as a substitute, and he started ever since then. He scored against Ajax. He is 31 years of age. Price might be a little bit more expensive. 0.016 is the recent price on the market, but the market price, the recent sale price, but the recent market price was 0.097. So going on today's rate, that's about 125, 130 pounds. So decent price for a starting striker that you're going to get a full season's worth of utility out of. So I'll move on from him, and we will come to Francois Camano of Lokomotiv Moscow. Now, he is a winger for them, I believe left winger. And his last 5 have been 45. Last 15 has been 38. They're 8 games into their season, so he's played 7 starts. He's had 7 starts and 1 substitute appearance. He's got a goal, has created a few big chances for his teammates, so that would get you a bonus, and obviously get you a bigger bonus if they actually converted those finishes. And 0.075 for both his recent price and the market price. So a fairly decent price there. Now, the only thing you'd have to be wary with the Russian cards is they have it's about a 4-month break from mid or late November right the way through until March this year. Or this season. So it's quite a lengthy gap in their season. So bear that in mind if you are looking at any of the Russian cards. My next one is Curtis Main. Now, not a card a few weeks ago that I would have anticipated putting into a threshold video because I didn't necessarily think he was going to be starting, but he has started most of the games this season. So he plays for St Mirren, striker. The picture here and also the cover picture is him scoring against United. He did score 2 goals, so I have to put them in twice. So last 5 of 44, last 15 of 40. Now, he's had 5 starts, played 6 games in total, which there has been only 6 games. He's got 2 goals. That was both in the same game, however. Now, that is fairly reflective in his price, 0.05 for the recent sales, 0.059 for his market price. Now, none of the cards here are going to be particularly prolific, and that's reflected in the price. If he is playing every single week and gets you 40, 45 points, then, you are going to have to get that extra boost from the defenders and midfielders, unless you've got a goalkeeper, in which case it should see you through quite safely. But getting that is, a good price for, for a striker that has played all season long. And, I didn't necessarily think that was going to be the case. The next one, Gustav Engvall. Now, he's actually just moved to the Norwegian League with Sarpsborg. Now, he's only on loan until December. So that is a short-term move that, to have a look at here. But his recent price is 0.037 and the market price 0.047. Now, and that does give you a fair bit of utility for the next few months. However, again, as I mentioned with the Russian cards, you're going to have to keep an eye on that because he's on loan from Mechelen. So if he moves back there and doesn't start or doesn't get a game, you're sitting with a little bit of a dead card. However, if you used him for 4 or 5 weeks and then sold him and bought something more expensive because he's helped you towards thresholds, then happy days. Last 5 of 44 and last 15 of 36. So he's played all the 4 games since he moved there. So again, he's an ever-present, so it's worth having a look there. Next one, speaking of ever-presents, we've got Joel Newbley of Livingston. He is a striker, obviously, at Livingston, but he is actually naturally a winger, according to the Livingston fan sites and things like that, and he did play there last season. However, he's been playing through the middle through requirement for injuries and things like that, but he's got a couple of goals so far. He got a goal in the opening game of the season against Rangers, and he's had another one since. So he's played 6 games, 2 goals, last 5 of 43 and a last 15 of 42 there. So recent price 0.095 and his market price 0.098. So is a little bit more expensive, but he has had a couple of those, decent games there that's, given, decisives on there. Next one, we're off to Division 2 players. So this is Jani Serra from Armenia Bielefeld in the German second Bundesliga. Starting striker there. He's played 6 out of 6 games. He's only got 1 goal. They've been sitting towards the bottom end of the table as the season started. They've not got off to the greatest of starts. But last 5 of 43, last 15 of 41. Recent price has been 0.068. The lowest market price when I looked at this was 0.092. Now that's quite a difference between the recent price and the market price, but if you can negotiate that somewhere in the middle, happy days. And also you can keep an eye out on the new card auctions because you will see that the auctions are sometimes cheaper than what people are trying to sell on the market for. So yeah, 6 appearances as I say, and 1 goal. So again, not necessarily prolific. I've got one that's slightly more expensive here, and I've included him because he is under 20. Well, he's actually 23, but he's got under 23 eligibility. So a few good games from him, and this would definitely help his value. Now, I've just noticed a typo, and I've got towards the end of the video, so I'm not going to go back and correct it now. But you can see it on the screen just under his market price here. It's Abdullah Sanyang, not Anduli. I've clearly made a mistake on that one, but apologies. 0.114 is his recent price and the market price now. He did get a goal in a recent game there. He's played 7 games altogether. He started all 7, and he's got 2 goals to his name. Last 5 of 46 and the last 15 of 45. His last 2 scores have both been green. One was 80 odds and one was I think it was like 46. So a couple more big green scores and that price could rocket up with him having the under 23 utility. So one well worth having a look at. And I mean, it depends on your budget if that stretches to it. I think that works out roughly about 140 or 150 pounds. So definitely want to keep an eye on there. And finally, Nicky Clark has, as I say, he'd moved from Dundee United to St Johnstone. He wasn't getting game time at Dundee United, and he went to St Johnstone. First game, bang, back of the net, and this is him scoring the goal here. So 0.074 was his recent sale price, 0.08 market price. I fully anticipate him being a starting striker going through. I've got him, as I've seen at the start of the video, I've got him in the gallery. I've got him in my underdog team for this coming weekend. Last 5 of 39, that's not properly reflective. He had a couple of substitute appearances at Dundee United, so it's not really reflective. I think it was 63 or 64 points he got at the weekend there. He's played one game for St Johnstone, got 1 goal. So 100% goal ratio. If he could keep that up for the whole season, I'd be delighted for my SO5 scores. But definitely one worth having a look at there. So I've rattled through those fairly quickly, but that's 8 threshold players. They're all playing. They're all starters. They're all, getting decent scores, and forwards are the most expensive part out with getting your goalkeeper, because and if you're looking at threshold ones and you're really working tightly on a budget, you're going to have to look at the so-called lower end to try and find these cards that are going to get you the regular 40 to 50 points and occasionally get you the decisive that could help you towards getting higher threshold as opposed to just aiming for the lower. But if you're playing with a starting goalkeeper, any of these players would definitely do you a turn. If you're using a non-playing goalkeeper at the moment, it'll help you towards your lower threshold for sure. If you're getting a good couple of midfielders and defenders in there, that's going to help you to that 205. It would be looking at needing the other ones to be averaging kind of 53 to 55 to get you to the thresholds. But well worth having a look at, guys. Thank you very much for everybody who has subscribed to the channel. If you've not, the button's just below. Click on that and you'll get notified when any new videos go up. If you have any ideas for upcoming videos, drop me a DM. You'll get me on Twitter at Sorare on the Budget. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, you can join, if you haven't already done so, at sorareonthebudget.com. I gave the rigmarole at the start. I'll take you to the Sorare sign-up page and you can get started on your journey. If you have any questions, my DMs are open all the time and I'm more than happy to help. So with that, guys, take care, and I will be back shortly with the midfielders and the defenders. Take care.